And the chase continues as Jay Cutler places second to Ronnie Coleman once again in 2004. And do I agree with the judges? I did definitely agree with them in 2003. Of course, the front relaxed position was usually a Jay Cutler shot for sure. I think it's the midsection. That's basically the framework. That's the structure of it, the midsection. And unless you're losing all of other aspects, then really you have to have a good advantage on the front relaxed position. Look at the advantage on the legs Jay Cutler has when I look at the calves. Of course, he was always winning this, and this video series is to really see Jay Cutler advance on the poses that he was losing. And like I said, he was always taking Ronnie in the front relaxed. But this time, Ronnie has lost some of his sting that he brought to the stage just 1 year prior, 2003. So, rated of the shoot, I will say 2003 was a much better year for Ronnie. And you can plainly see that in the front double bicep pose. Look at the midsection of Ronnie. He had it somewhat controlled the year prior. Of course, those guns are still enough, I think, to beat Jay Cutler. Jay, his right bicep, a little bit smaller. And in 2002, you'll notice Ronnie's right bicep was smaller, and it's doing the same thing. You see that? Not as drastic, but this is a blurry shot. Let's have another one. And this one, it's definitely a clearer picture. And Ronnie's arms look a little bit better. Maybe put some pose and pump in there. But still, his torso itself, the lats, the chest, lost some sting of the previous year. Jay Cutler is beating him on all other aspects aside from those arms. Jay, that right arm, not only much smaller, but much softer as well. Even Jay's good arm, it's bicep dominant. And Ronnie, huge biceps, plus nice flow with the triceps. Of course, Jay is winning on one of his forearms anyway. That right arm, it's a terrible arm for Jay. You can even see it in this one, but not quite as drastic. Like I said, though, in the physique alone, Jay is beating Ronnie in this one. So he's kind of losing this one due to the arm size, but he is chasing Ronnie, and he is catching up to him in the front double bicep pose. And in the front lat spread, I firmly believe that Jay Cutler has taken one back, a pose that he was losing in 2003. I honestly think Ronnie, it sucks here. He has to be really massive. Those lats really have to be jetting out because he is not the most aesthetic creature in the world. And I have to say, the cameramen, have you guys noticed every single shot of all the athletes in 2004? They're all on an angle. No straight-on shots. Come on, cameramen. What is wrong with you guys? Here's another shot here, and I have to say, Jay Cutler, he is taking Ronnie Coleman in the front lat spread, and I think he did this in 2001 as well. He's much more aesthetic. It's that darn waistline of Ronnie. And when his lats are not totally filled out, like I said earlier, he's losing it, especially to Jay. Jay's muscles look quite striated here, like in the arms and the delts, things of that nature. For 2004, it was a good year for Jay, but we haven't seen the backs yet. That's still to come. Although, judging from the side chest shot, Jay is most certainly catching up on Ronnie. Even if you prefer the Ronnie Coleman side chest, and people say that, oh, he can't lose in this shot. Well, he's actually terrible in the shot. He needs to bring the delt back some. You can't even see the pec. And now look at Jay Cutler. Fantastic. Of course, Ronnie's still beating him in the striations and the legs, the hardness, crispness. But Jay, he's just big this year. And Ronnie Coleman, not quite as big as he was last year. I don't know what the scale would say, but judging by the musculature, he's not as big as in 2003. No real need or reason to judge the side tricep. Jay was always taking Ronnie in this one. Take Jay at his worst, and Ronnie at his best in this shot, and Jay would still probably win. If you're familiar with a counterpart of mine, Mikey, Iron Rage, he says when he sees a tricep like Ronnie's, he says it's pancake time. Pancake time? His pancakes are flat. Get it? It's hilarious. Anyway, keep it up with that joke. That's hilarious. Ronnie Coleman, nowhere near getting a victory in this pose. Everything else is so huge. That's what's so vexing. It makes that tricep look even smaller. Ah, yes, back development time now. Jay has some catching up to do to Ronnie as far as the lower body is concerned. Not the calves. Not the calves. Jay was always beating Ronnie in the calves. He's definitely catching up to him in the hamstrings. There was certain shots that he was beating Ronnie in the hamstrings. Glutes, don't even look. Don't even look. Now, this is an interesting situation. Ronnie is losing his proportions, his symmetry, and I've heard top pros actually say symmetry and proportions as one for the other. So depending on what you use, because I've gotten a couple of comments, and I've heard Frank Zane say one thing and then another top bodybuilder say the other. Proportions, symmetry. To me, symmetry is one side matching the other. Proportions are your upper body matches your lower body, things of that nature. But anyway, we don't need an explanation for that. Another back shot here, and gosh darn it, those cameramen cannot get Jay straight on. But you can still see, guys, he has some catching up to do. But in my opinion, if you look at last year's rear lat spread, he is most certainly running toward Ronnie Coleman in this shot. Will he catch him next year? 2005? I don't know. Ronnie definitely lag dominant in this shot, and I must say the symmetry is much better. The proportions, rather, is better for Jay Cutler. Here in the rear double bicep, same thing, guys. It's lag dominance for Ronnie Coleman when you look at the upper body. It's fading, and it's fading fast, is that left lat of Ronnie. Now, Jay always had a little bit of wrinkles in his lower back, but it's starting to get to a point where that lack of symmetry of Ronnie is almost hurting him more than the wrinkles in the lower back. And of course, Jay's calves pretty much are telling Ronnie to keep his glutes away because he has a bad set of calves, so that cancels each other out. It's a close race, guys, and Jay is running towards it. I'm telling you, by next year, this could be a closer shot. Here's a nice little showdown, or a shootout, I guess you could say, for the lack of a better term. The Christmas tree pose. Ronnie, he is up against the wall, guys. Compare this one with any other year. His almighty glutes are not as hard and as striated. Yes, they are beating Jay's, but Jay's never looked so good, and Ronnie's never looked so bad. It's that type of thing. Jay's humiliating Ronnie in the leg department. Look at not the quads, but the hamstrings. And look at the calves. So like I said, keep your glutes to yourself, because I would give it to Jay totally in the leg department. Better set of calves cancels a better set of glutes out. And when you look at the Christmas tree itself, Jay, he is battling Ronnie. I don't know, guys. Ronnie should have maybe lost the title in 2004. It was a close one, a lot closer than I actually thought. In the ab and thigh, there really should be no argument. Jay Cutler was always beating Ronnie in this pose. I have to say, though, the 2004 ab and thigh Ronnie Coleman was one of his best. I can't believe it. He had a distended stomach in all the other shots, but somehow he pulled off a more than decent ab and thigh, so it's a less than humiliating loss in this shot. It's actually pretty close. But Jay, much more aesthetic in the abs and those quads. He has the feathering, of course. Now, this is a very interesting situation, guys, and I'm going to really actually hate to announce who I think won this between these two, because I'm sure you guys realize. From the calves, well, maybe not the quads, but from the calves to the abs to even the upper body here, Jay's beating Ronnie. Look at that terrible midsection of Ron. Come on, Ronnie. 2003, he was so dominant. Clearly, he did not repeat his performance. I think Jay capitalized. I think Jay may have edged out a slight victory over Ronnie in 2004. Of course, the crab position probably would still favor Ronnie. Such a natural pose for him. But I'm telling you what, compare the crab position from 2003 for these two. Just incredible, the difference. And for those of you who thought I messed up on the 2001 comparison, I'm telling you right now, compare 2001 Ronnie Coleman to this Ronnie Coleman. The 2001 was very underrated. He was bloated. He had some water, of course, but he had massive amounts of muscle. And the back development was just crisp as can be. But anyway, we don't need to get into that right now. 2004, guys, I don't know. If I was a judge, I would have given it to Jay. Jay should have won the title in 2004. Of course, we didn't look at the other guys. There was a couple other gentlemen that I'm sure I'll hear about in the comment section below. That will remain nameless. One of them very famous, actually. Hit thumbs up on this one, guys, and look forward to the third installment as Jay continues the chase in 2005. That'll be a very interesting, because I believe both gentlemen improved thusfold in 2005. Should be a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Have a great day.